Welcome to NYP Music Theory. In this video, we are going to learn how to harmonize a major scale in 7 levels, piano style. We'll take C major as an example. Level 1, we just use the 1 chord and the 5 chord, that is the tonic and the dominant. The notes here with a slash are non-chord tones, so we don't have to harmonize all these non-chord tones. First bar, we just harmonize it with C, E, G. And the second bar is G, B, D. And finally, we finish it with a perfect cadence, C, E, G. Level 2, we change the bass rhythm from a semi-brief to a minim, dotted crotchet, and a quaver to make the left hand a little bit more rhythmic. And the second bar, we will harmonize the G with 1 C chord. 1 C is a declaration of 5, so it is good to change this chord to 1 C. And then finally, with 5-1 perfect cadence. Level 3, we will change the bass rhythm with dotted rhythm. Dotted crotchet, quaver, dotted crotchet, quaver. And the chord we use is still a 1, 5, and 1. Level 4, we change the bass to the root of the chord and the fifth. Then at the end, we still use a 1C, 5, and 1. Level 5 will focus on the right hand, that is the scale. We add in some notes to enrich the melody, but they are all chord tones. And the second last chord, we add the 7th note of this 5 chord, so it becomes a dominant 7th. Level 6, we will thicken the bass texture by adding an octave lower so that it's more depth in the bass. And in the right hand, we can continue to add some chord tones and the passing note. In level 7, we have a fuller sound by filling in some chord tones into the melody, and the scale is transposed up an octave. In the 4th beat, we change this passing note into a chord, the 4C, and then finish with 1C, 5-7, 2-1. Now let's look at the harmonization of a major scale in SATB style. Since this is a choral style, every note has to have a chord to support it. So look at the first note, C, we will start with a tonic chord. The next one, D, we will use a 5B. And the third note, E, will go back to 1. The 4th note, F, will use the 4th chord. And in the second bar, the G, we will use a 1B to harmonize it. That is the first inversion. Then we will use a common cadential formula, 2-7-5-1. And we can see that the 2-7 here is being prepared by the previous note from the tonic chord. Now let's compare the second harmonization. In the beginning, we are still using the tonic chord root position. Then the second note, I'll change it to a 5 chord root position, and then going back to 1. The 4th chord is still an F chord, the subdominant chord. But across the bar line, we compare that. This time I used a 3 chord. So we will have a minor quality chord. But just to take note that we have to check the contrary motion to avoid parallels. After that, the 2751 will change to 2B51. And again, we double check the contrary motion from E to D and then E to F. This is to avoid consecutives. Now let's compare the third harmonization with the previous two demonstrations. This time, I use a 1B in the bass. Usually, a piece of music starts with a root position, but if it is not the beginning of the piece, we can try to use the 1B. And we can also use the passing 6/3 pattern. Do, re, mi, re, do, ti, do, so, fa, so. So here is a suitable place to insert the passing 6/3. Then this time, the fourth chord is being substituted by a 2B. It's also possible, just to make sure there's no consecutives. 2B to 1, again, no consecutives. 1 to 4, and then 5/7 to 1. This 4 is also a substitution of 2B. All these three versions are possible to get a good mark. Which one do you like? The last demonstration is a major scale descending. So when we have do, ti, la, so, we can use a do, mi, fa, mi, or do, mi, fa, so to harmonize it. So to avoid parallels, I choose the 4 goes to 1. Do, mi, fa, do. So we have 1, 3, 4, 1 across the bar line. This time, the F, I don't use the 4 again because I want to choose some other chords. So 2B will be fine. And then after that, we will use the typical decoration of the 5. 1C, 5, 1.